So, hey folks, how we doing? Good morning. Sorry, I'm trying to untangle something here. So one of the rare occasions when I get to go fishing for myself, right? If you want to limit the amount of hours you get on the water, get involved in the fishing business. So we're taking the boat out this morning, and I want to just show you a lure that I use a lot from the boat. It's the Vision 110 from Megabass. It's not a lure you hear an awful lot about in Ireland, but for me, it has just been lethally effective, right? So it's a jerkbait lure, but it's a suspending lure. And the thing with it is to not just like cast and retrieve, but to actually jerk it down and let it suspend. And when it suspends, it wobbles, right? So you're fishing it with a kind of almost with a loose line, you know what I mean? And it allows you to cover a lot more water than your standard shallow runner, right? So for example, if I'm fishing the ground I'm fishing this morning, I'm fishing a dropping tide. I'm going to be fishing over rough ground. So as the tide pushes off that ground, the bass get pushed back into the main channel of the river or whatever. We're going to sit outside the rough stuff and be casting in on top of them. So I'm going to jerk this down and just let it swing along with the drift of the boat, right? And most of the takes I get are when the bait is actually stopped, not when I'm banging it, right? So I bang it, it gets the fish's attention, and then it kind of just sits and wobbles and boom, fish on. So I just wanted to introduce you to it. I didn't order a whole bunch of them because they're expensive, and I don't have the money to put into lures I'm not sure I'm going to sell. But if you're interested in these lures, please drop me a DM and I will include them in my next order. I certainly won't be on the water without them. I have a few colours that I really like. That one there is French Pearl. The other one I really like is Gigi Akin, which is like a kind of a mix of red and orange. And then there's a Pro Blue or whatever. Is it Pro Blue? Well, anyway, I'll stick up the list later on. There's 3 or 4 colours. The other thing is this is a saltwater version, so it has hooks that are suitable for the salt water. Like that lure there is easily 10 years old. And look at the condition of it. I mean, it's still going strong, right? Okay, it's got a little rust around some of the hooks and stuff, but that's to be expected, right? I mean, after 10 years, you'd have a bit of rust around your hooks if I kept throwing you in the water. So that's one bait I'm going to fish quite a bit. I had mentioned before about the feed popper and been able to rig it with singles. So here you can see I've dropped an extra split ring on the back, right? Put a single in there, and for my middle hook I have an assist, right? I've not missed a fish on that lure just because of the lack of trebles, right? It does the fish a lot less damage, right? Much better for catch and release. Also much better for the angler, because especially if you're boat fishing like we are, in a lot of current, and you need to net those fish. If you've got trebles on your popper, when the fish get in the net, they'll spin and stuff a bit, and they'll just tie themselves in a ball with those trebles. So that's just a very handy little system. I'll show you that in a bit more detail when I have more time, but a really good way to rig your poppers. So then on soft baits, I'm going to focus mostly on shads this morning, because I think I'm going to need a bit of tail. So that there is the One Up Shad 5-inch from Soramura, Japanese lure company. It's just got a beautiful action. I mean, it's one of the most popular soft baits in France. It's this double body. You can see the tail separates from the fatter body. I am gluing those down right to the jig head, just because I think it gives them, they are soft, right? So it gives them a little bit it gives them a bit more life, right? They last a bit longer or whatever. That's the problem with a lot of soft baits. I mean, a lot of the really good ones, tend to get murdered by, just 3 or 4 bass. But to my mind, if it gets me a really decent fish, then it was worth it, right? So I'm gonna fish that, and that's Gold Shiner. That's a really natural kind of almost translucent, white and translucent on the top. And then there's a kind of a pro blue with a bit of blue sparkle and red sparkle in it. So those three are getting fished. They're getting fished on a variety of heads in different weights, etc. Because as the tide pushes us back off the rough ground, we'll end up fishing in deeper holes where the bass will hold over the lower water. So then you can see I'm upping the lead head right up. Okay. The other shad I'm going to fish a good bit this morning is the 4.5-inch 2 Live shad from ISO, a company that needs no introduction, right? They brought us the 2 Live stick, which has accounted for so many bass in this country, right? Funnily enough, that shad doesn't seem to have been particularly popular. And in fairness, I wasn't a huge fan of it myself until I saw a buddy of mine do really, really well on it. And I just thought, hang on, I need to give this another look. So we're going to give that a good run this morning. Again, that's available in a lovely range of colours. I don't have them to hand. And then I want to show you this little fella. So that's the 4-inch slim One Up Shad. So just in case the bait is really, really small and the fish are very, very finicky, I have something that I can throw at them, right? If there's little sprat have come into the estuary or anything like that, we got something small to throw out there. So that's it, folks. Other than that, I'll be fishing my usual selection of stuff. This is one lure I absolutely love. That's the Astoria 110, right, with the yellow back. I like the yellow, not really for the fish. It's more for me because I can see it. So I'll know then if there's a fish behind it. And if I know there's a fish behind it, I fish it very differently. Like, I actually pay a lot more attention. So that's it, folks. Not too much time this morning. I've got to get myself ready. I've got to get, let me show you what I bought myself, a little Prezi. Garmin Eco Map, right? This thing would find your dead relatives. It's that good. If you're a small boat owner, honest to God, invest in one. They're worth every penny. It's totally changed my ability to, like, it just reads the bottom so well. You can find the gutters, you can find the big boulders. Oh my God, it's fantastic. Fantastic piece of kit. So that's it, everybody. Tight lines. Have a great day. It looks like conditions are going to hold over this moon, so fingers crossed we get a bit of fishing and we see some good fish hit the shore. Tight lines.